Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Western Herald Headlined. Awesome. Thank you, Jade. Thank you, Jade. That was our bugle song, a little opener for you guys today. But yeah, welcome back to Western Herald Headlined, your show that we put on here at Western Herald, where we go over the news, give a little in-depth look, and a little behind the scenes of things. You know, I'm Aidan Ralko, multimedia editor for Western Herald, and today I am joined by.
I'm sorry. I'm Brandon Goldner. I'm a staff photographer here at the Herald. I'm an aviation flight science major, and yeah, ready to have some fun here.
Yay.
First
Fantastic.
podcast cover. So.
Yay,
Yeah.
Brandon.
Yeah.
My name's Jade. I'm the assistant photo editor.
All right.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be a little more multimedia central focus for this podcast episode today. A little something different because it's not too often that we get some multimedia people on here and a lot of people who can talk in that realm, so to speak. But to start off, there's been a little bit of news in the multimedia realm. Jade, you were talking about this. What is our most recent development?
So I got word that TikTok is back, and it is, in fact, back on the App Store. I have re-downloaded it, unfortunately.
Yep. So we were talking about this. It came back a little bit ago, but that was for people who hadn't deleted it. But if you did delete it, you were not able to re-download it. Jade, you mentioned that you deleted it after the original ban.
I did.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I had to because I didn't want it to look at me in the face every day when I was trying to open it. So I got rid of it, and I've missed it a lot. But I also was saying how I feel like it's made me more productive, not having something to always scroll on. However, I do have Instagram Reels. Those are not as good, I will say. So I'm happy to have TikTok back, but maybe I can work on creating like a balance, you know?
Yeah.
Won't be so addicted to TikTok this time around.
Yeah. When the TikTok came back the first time, for the people who hadn't deleted it, what was that like to see everyone on TikTok and you not be able to share?
Well, it's bad because they know like trends that are going on, and like there's new sounds and dances, and like, oh, did you see this? And the worst part is they would be sending them to me, and I would get the notification, but I can't open it. It wouldn't let me open it.
That's
so they would
heartbreaking.
screenshot or screen record them.
Yeah.
And then they would send them to me. So
I'm curious what you guys think about because that has been a thing that a lot of people talk about when they talk about the TikTok ban and it going away or whatever, is looking at it from a productivity side of things. I'm curious what you guys think about that, if it were to, when it gets back on the table in a couple weeks, if it were to go away completely. Well, what do you guys think about that? The yin and the yang, pros and cons about that from a productivity standpoint.
Yeah. The thing is, I stopped going on TikTok a while ago, and I replaced that with Reels. So I didn't really get rid of it. It's like YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels. You know, it's it's kind of a bad thing. But you know, I haven't completely gone away from it. But I think that I guess it's the positives are like, yeah, you get the more productivity, you get less people being on the app. But the cons are like, it's a place where people make money. It's like a marketplace as well, which is a big reason why I think it's good that it came back, because some people's jobs. But you know, there's pros and cons to it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I would say I feel like without it, obviously I got a lot more done. I had a lot more projects on my mind, things I wanted to complete. But I do think it's important to have a balance of some downtime, relaxing time, you know, free your mind. What's the word? Brain rot. It is. So I feel like it's important to have that. But also getting your goals done and making a difference somehow. I don't know. So
finding that way to put it down.
Exactly. Put it away.
Exactly. But yeah, I think that'll do it for our TikTok segment today, and we'll move on. Now I want to talk a little bit about Brandon.
Yes.
And some of the experience with being a staff photographer and what all that's been like. Brandon, how just overall, what has it been like to be a staff photographer so far?
I mean, it's been great. I have never been in an official role as a photographer in high school. I took photos for unofficially just for fun, and then I joined the yearbook when I was in high school, and it's just been great being able to like actually like take pictures at official games, like for like D1 sports. Like it's not something I expected to do, and then being able to do it and finding the Western Herald to do that was very fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What are some like things you've learned through the experience and that kind of realm of things?
I've learned that one of the biggest things is like turnaround time. When I was in school, in high school, it was like take pictures, get them to us whenever you can. You know, I'd give them out to my friends, so that would kind of incentivize me to get them done quickly. But here, it's kind of like you take the pictures, you want to get back to your computer and immediately start going through them and editing them, and then you got to get that done. And then there's like the download time, and then the editing time, and it's a lot more to do in a short amount of time. And it's really fun to do that, and that's one of the biggest things I learned is speeding up that flow.
Yeah. That's something that I know that happens a lot with writers for Herald, video people as well, photo especially. It's
hard
because part of news is staying timely. So it does get it can get a little stressful at times, but at the same time I always find it a little rewarding when you go there and you do the work there, and then you also can turn it around like that. I always find that process a little bit rewarding.
100%.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
Is there anything else that this experience has been able to give you, or anything that you feel like you wouldn't have been able to do or experience without being a staff photographer?
Yeah. I think it's definitely given me like a confidence of like, knowing that, like you get to go places where other people like generally won't be able to. Like at a football game, you can get field level access. It's like knowing that you're allowed to be there and having the confidence to go up to people and saying like, hey, and just like on the field, just talking to them. And then, that's like one of the biggest ones for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I for sure can relate to that. I remember when I was staff photographer for Herald, one of the first things I did was like a football game.
Yeah.
And so I was shadowing a little bit with the assistant photo editor at the time, and it was very cool to like show up and get the little press pass and everything, and then walk on the field. Felt very professional and cool.
Yes,
100%. And I actually mentioned what you mentioned about being able to like talk to people down there.
Yeah.
That's something that I didn't really see coming as like a benefit, but that's also like super awesome. I remember there's one game I was at where there was a guy there, and he had like taken photos for NFL games and different college
That's
games,
awesome.
and I was just talking to him about that experience for a little bit, and it was just very cool to see him there and to kind of be on. Obviously, he had a cooler camera than I had, but on a similar plane right there. So yeah. But I want to transition a little bit and talk about Jade. So we're going to talk about now. Similar experience, except Jade is moved up the ladder a little bit as our assistant photo editor. Jade, what has your experience been like working with Herald?
I mean, I'd say it's pretty similar to Brandon. I started off as a staff photographer. I actually shadowed Aidan quite a few times last year. Thank you again. Really, that made me comfortable and confident being able to like go to events and sporting events on my own. So being able to do that now really is nice. And I'm able to kind of give back to staff photographers, and they can come shadow me, which makes me feel cool because I don't think I'm the most like skilled at photography, but I definitely know what I'm doing in a way. So I think that's what's fun about it. But I like it too because I'm constantly getting better. This position pushes me to get better and to learn new things. So it's always fun. But
she's selling herself short. She's very good at what she does. We have quite a few photos saved for Herald that are known as Jade classics that get used quite frequently. But I like what you said about this experience, like giving you room to grow and stuff. I feel like that's something that both of you mentioned, and I mean, it seems like a cliche when people talk about it, but people say one of the best ways to learn is to go out and actually do stuff.
Oh yeah,
100%.
And I feel like I was wondering if that's something like that both of you have experienced, like comparatively. Obviously, you're learning things in your classes and stuff, but how has the Herald experience differed from that classroom experience?
Yeah, so I mean, as a journalism major, I feel like I learn a lot of this stuff in the classroom, but I'm a very hands-on learner, so it's hard for me to kind of like process all of that until I'm actually doing it. So having the Herald has been such a big asset with just actually learning these skills, especially with photography, but also interviewing skills, talking to people, asking if you're allowed to take pictures at the event. Like that kind of stuff is also important. So I don't know, it just has been really helpful having this real world publication that we work for.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not I guess the journalism major, but I definitely feel that like at least right now I haven't gotten to a flight slot yet, but being able, like I think that especially once I get one, I'll be able to like learn better, because at least for myself, like I'm a like Jade said, hands-on learner. I like to do the physical work, and being able to do that with the Herald it's just like being thrown into it is something that, especially for myself, is the best way of learning. And yeah,
and it kind of gives you like experience with that like learning path is kind of what you're saying. I like that. That's something I think is also important, kind of learning how to as much as it can be scary, kind of be thrown in there and be able to learn through that. So that's
Takes
awesome.
a special kind of person though to be able to be willing to do that kind of stuff too. So
yes,
it's a good opportunity.
It helps that we have two really great people right here
Oh,
helping us along.
Stop it, Brandon!
Oh my goodness!
Stop it!
Thank you.
You're a great asset to our team.
Thank you. Look at that. That's awesome. But I wanted to ask. I think it's great to have both of you here at once, because it kind of shows two very close and similar paths through the RSO, but sort of at different stages. So I want to ask Jade a little bit about what it's been like to step up into more of a leadership role, being on the e-board as the assistant photo editor. What has that shift been like?
I think it's been a fun shift. Personally, I kind of like how it's a little bit more of a commitment, I guess, being on e-board. So, I mean, there's lots more meetings to go to, a lot more events, but I also like having kind of the power to choose what I want to go to, but also pick up things that people can't go to or don't want to. So it's kind of fun being able to do that. And also just working with the team. It's been a challenge at times, but also I think it's a good life lesson, because we have people like Brandon who stick around and will stay throughout the whole process, and some people kind of come and go. But it's been fun trying to work with them and kind of figure that out. And work with all the camera equipment too. That whole process has been quite tedious, but we kind of are in a good place right now.
It is for sure all a learning process. And like you said, it is that dynamic where you're working with people and trying to find ways to help them learn and keep them involved. That all can get interesting. But,
especially because we're all like the same age. So it's hard to kind of have that power over people and the authority.
But I feel like it definitely does teach for your position and other editorial board positions. It does teach some good skills about managing people
100%
and that sort of
I would
things.
agree.
So that's something I've always been grateful for. So the next thing I would like to talk about is a new video that we had go out this past week. Students come together to build a concrete canoe. Awesome time. That was pretty fun to be around. That was put together by us three. Little joint effort there, trying to show Brandon some more ropes about video stuff, and just getting some more experience for all of us in general. But that video is out on our YouTube and westernherald.com. It's really about what the title says. Students coming together to build a concrete canoe. Part of the ASCE club over on Parkview, WMU's engineering campus. It's something they do yearly. They come together and they design and create mixes and everything for the canoe, and then here in the spring semester, they will actually cast it and mold it, and then they'll take it to conferences later in April to race, I believe, against other concrete canoes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
So,
that's how it works. I think the goal is just to have it float.
Yeah, that too.
Or
that
whoever,
too. That's the impressive
makes
part,
it the
is to
farthest.
just even have it float, because I'm still not exactly
I
sure.
know.
They told us like 4 different
We're
times
like,
how it floats, but
surface tension? Like, I
it
don't
works because
know.
of surface tension
Yeah.
and something. I was like, oh, okay.
Right
that-
on, right
sure,
on.
yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But they were awesome.
They were cool.
It was a very cool environment to be around. There were some alumni from
Yes.
who
Awesome.
graduated and were part of Concrete Canoe Club. So it was cool to see them to be able to come back and
It was cool.
and be in that
And
environment.
they brought like their kids and
Yeah.
their families. It was
Yeah.
really fun.
But I wanted to ask you guys, what was the experience like for you, video wise, and just being there?
Yeah, I found it awesome. Like, what Aidan said, like, I learned how to interview there. Like, that was my first time ever being behind the camera of an interview. I've never done that before, so that was awesome. And then being able to take some B-roll shots for the video. I've never really taken that much video. I've mostly been a photo guy, so that was pretty awesome. And I also like to mention, like, speaking of alumni there, I'm pretty sure one of the alumni met their future spouse there, which was super awesome, like at the club. And I just found that really awesome.
That was fun.
Yeah, you can find that in the video. He mentions that. And
It was
that
pretty
was
cool.
that was cool. We kind of had to get that out of him a little bit with some interview tactics.
Yes,
but
yes.
it was cool to learn about that.
Super awesome.
Yeah, Aidan's really good at you're good at kind of interrogating them a little bit more to get the answer you want, which
Thank you.
I appreciate. That's a hard skill. It really
Thank you.
is.
Good to know I'm good at interrogating people.
Yeah,
That's
you
all.
are. You are.
It's good to have.
That's funny.
But
FBI
Jade, what
guy.
was your experience like?
I thought it was a great experience. I've done a few videos in the past. Most of them have been with your help. So this one was fun to do because it was like kind of a club that I knew a little bit about previously, because I have a friend who's the president of the Concrete Canoe Club portion of it. So he's always been telling me about it and giving us like a lot of information, but I've never like been able to visualize it. So honestly, it was cool just to be able to see what they do and how hard they work, honestly, because it's a lot of behind the scenes like numbers and spreadsheets that I didn't even realize, but it was cool.
Yeah, when we showed up, they had a whole plan written out and everything. It was a lot.
Yes.
But I mean, it looked very official and very, very smart.
cool.
Probably not something I would be able to do, but
I was like, definitely picked the right major, but I was like, I wish I could be able to do that kind of stuff, because it is neat, and it does prepare them for like whatever roles they go to in the future. Kind of like the Western Herald, RSOs doing their thing.
Yeah.
yeah. But when Jade kind of threw that pitch idea out there, I was like, that's something that would look cool
Aidan
on
was
camera.
like, what?
At first, I was like, concrete canoe. That's not.
He had to
gonna,
hear me out.
That's
but
not gonna work. But it definitely looks cool on camera.
Yes, it does. It was a cool process. Very satisfying to watch, I think.
Yes. Yeah. We were basically in the thick of it. They were pouring mixes and stirring it up and then throwing it in the cast. It was
cool.
It was cool to be around. But I wanted to ask you guys what is it like kind of comparing photo to video? Because I know in my position now, I'm doing just video.
Yeah.
So it's been a minute since I've done photo stuff. But what is the contrast for you guys like?
I think that for video, you got to make sure like there's a little bit more like stuff going on for video, because it's like a constantly moving image. You gotta like make sure it's stabilized. You gotta like frame it correctly. I mean, that also goes along with photography. But yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things is making sure the video stabilized. And yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with all of that. I feel like also a big difference is the whole like editing portion. That's what kind of freaks me out. I just kind of got really good and comfortable at photo editing, like, for the paper.
Yep.
So now trying to kind of learn and navigate how to put together videos for our website and for like a lot of people to see is a little bit more intimidating.
Yeah.
But practice.
Yeah.
Like we said.
For sure. Practice. And let me tell you, the practice never ends.
Yep, I would see that.
We're still trying to find new ways that we can, editing styles and different things that we know will include and get rid of. That's always changing, and we're always trying to figure out what looks the best and what serves the best purpose for the story. But
that's hard too.
Yeah, but it's definitely something that gets easier with time.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, you've made some good videos this year.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, but I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think your future involvement with video looks like?
Well, who knows what will happen? But Aidan likes to say I'm in the pipeline.
That's true. That's true.
We shall
Jade and I
see.
have very similar paths so far through Western Herald. I was staff photographer, then assistant photo editor, and now multimedia editor. So who knows what could happen for
Who
Jade?
knows?
But I'm interested. Do you guys, how are you guys feeling about video? Are you open to doing more or?
100%.
Yes,
100%.
I definitely want to learn more about the different styles and everything. I think it'd be very good to add to being able to take pictures is huge. But if photography is something I want to do, or if really anybody has a recommendation, just learn both, because then you can maybe do an extra part of a photo shoot or something as a add-on.
Yeah,
it's a great skill to have for
Mm-hmm.
sure. I think a lot of companies too.
100%.
They need video people. They need people who can put them together, take them. So it's a nice thing to have in your back pocket, but definitely something you need to practice to get good at,
100%.
to be able to, confidently say, I can take a video and edit it and make it look great. But one day.
Yeah. Well, you guys did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Working on that video. It was very
It was
nice.
fun.
It was a little bit of an early one. We did have to wake up early, but I think we all did great, and it was awesome. That's something I'm trying to do, is be there with more people as often as I can. So it was great to have you guys there and
thank you.
kind of try to show some ropes a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
It's always helpful. You always have a good eye for the cool shots. And, and I was like, wow, I would have never even thought about that. But
well, thank you.
Good to know.
Thank you. I'm glad you think so. I appreciate that. But that will probably just about do it for this week's episode of Western Herald Headlined. If you're interested to see some of the photos they're taking and the video that we just talked about and other videos, you can find that all at westernherald.com. Some great stuff over there. So always check that out. And if you want to stay up to date with what we're doing, you can follow us on social media, basically everywhere at Western Herald. Pretty much anywhere you look. So thank you guys so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
This has been a great little multimedia chat, so to speak. So
and happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's
Oh,
Day.
yes.
Yes.
Yes. Happy Valentine's Day. Belated Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys.
Sorry.
But
about that.
Happy Valentine's Day nonetheless.
Yes.
100%.
So, but yeah, thank you guys for coming,
Thank you.
and we'll see you next week. Bye.
See you.